What is up, my nerd familia, and welcome back to another episode of Games y Mas, the podcast where we're talking about all things board games, video games, and a little bit of pop culture. I'm your host, Vic, and today we're continuing our mini-series of looking into the world of Jurassic World, or Jurassic World and / Jurassic Park. We've been looking at movies. We talked about the video games. But yeah, we've been having a blast talking about these movies, engaging with you guys that have been talking to us about your thoughts on the movies, and we've been giving our personal ranking here. So we're excited to continue on. Today we're going to be looking at Jurassic Park Rebirth, the latest movie that has come out in this series, or franchise, as you can say. And so very excited to talk about it and give our thoughts. Hopefully they're positive thoughts, and some positives and a lot of negatives, but we'll get into that there. If this is your first time watching or listening, wherever you guys are watching or listening from, either on YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music, or Apple Podcasts, I want to say thank you so much for tuning in to this episode. And for those of you that are coming back, welcome back to another episode. And so thank you so much for that. If you want to follow us on all socials, we are on all socials. We are on X, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music. Go ahead and give us a follow. Hit that like, subscribe button, as the YouTubers like to say. And support our podcast. We like to see our nerd familia grow. And so, very excited to dive more into Jurassic Park and / Jurassic World. And so with all that being said, pull up a chair, grab some dice, y acompáñenme a jugar. So a little bit of a disclaimer here, a couple disclaimers for this episode here. I know in the previous episode when we talked about the video games, I said I was going to talk about the board games next on our next episode. And I felt like it was just unfair to talk about board games when I don't have any of the Jurassic Park board games. I played a couple when I was a kid, but I don't particularly own any. I have some dinosaur-esque type of board games, but I don't think it would be fitting for this episode to be talking about those board games. We could talk about them in other episodes. So I wanted to just give you guys a little bit of that, of a heads up on there that we probably won't talk about, just only because it wouldn't be fair to you guys. I wouldn't be giving you guys my quote unquote expertise knowledge on these board games if I haven't even played them myself. I've heard of them. I've seen which ones are out, but I've never actually touched them, or I can give you a little bit more in-depth analysis on those board games. So I decided maybe we should just move on from there, and if I ever get any more board games, we can talk about that in the future. But there are a couple of them out there that I've seen. There's the Jurassic Park, the board game. There's this one that I remembered I was looking up as Jurassic Park 3. It was like a Jurassic Park 3 board game, like designed. It was so cool because I had like cool little mini dinosaur figures, and I remember having it as a kid. But I thought I'd just mention a couple of that at the beginning in passing before we dive into Rebirth. But I just want to let you guys know, I don't think it'd be fair to you guys and to the podcast if we talk about board games that I've not even played as well. So maybe in the future we'll get onto that. But as much as it saddens me to not talk about board games on this episode, which I love talking about board games, we're going to move on from there. The ones that I do have that are Dino-esque are Dinosaur Island and Dinosaur World, and then the expansion for Dinosaur Island. Those are fun. Those are kind of creating your own Jurassic Park-esque type of parks, which is really cool. A lot of management things going on in there. I've introduced that game to a couple of our friends. They've enjoyed playing it, and that's a good game. We have an earlier episode on that game, one of our segments that we do, our top shelf or yard sale segments, where we look into board games to decide if they're worthy to be on the top shelf, as you can see behind me. For those that are watching, I have a bunch of board games behind me, or if they deserve to be sent to the yard sale section, not necessarily like sold off or thrown away, but games that probably don't make it the shelf over here, maybe get put back to the side or maybe traded or something like that, games that are not worthy to be shown up here. So we have those segments, and we did one on Dinosaur World. So go check that one out if you'd like to check that one. I'll leave a link below in the description for that episode. But for today, we're going to be talking about Jurassic World Rebirth. And wow, I have my thoughts on this one, as do probably many of you guys do. Maybe positives, maybe some negatives, but we'll dive into it as well. Jurassic World Rebirth, directed by Gareth Edwards and written by David Coep, which is one of the original screenwriters from the first Jurassic Park movie. So that was very interesting to hear about when this movie first came out. I was very excited because I'm like, okay, maybe we can bring it back. You know, a lot of the marketing for this movie was, we're going back to the island. We're going back to how it was in the first movies. dinosaurs when they were in the islands, and I was very excited. I was like, okay, maybe they could go back. The trailers and the marketing they showed, it made it seem promising, made it seem like it was a good time. It was a good rebirthing this franchise back into its roots, going back to its roots. And so, man, oh man, was I fooled. Maybe many of you were fooled when you were watching this movie, but it was not back to its roots. Now, going back to the island, yes, that was part of the storyline, but oh, geez, man, I feel like it's probably going to be another, Jurassic Park demeanor / Fallen Kingdom bashing episode, and I'm trying to find the positives to this movie because I don't want just these episodes to be all about bashing and just praising the first 3 movies. But there's a lot of negatives. It's just very hard. I'm like, Jurassic Rebirth, you're making it hard for me to praise you on some things. But there are a couple things here that I've enjoyed, and we'll talk about those. I feel like the bashing is going to be like the majority of this podcast, and so we'll talk about some positives here. To be honest, the music, again, I'm a big sound score guy. I really like the music. The music for me was very forgettable, to be honest. I can't think of anything that stood out. I mean, you obviously had the original, the John Williams theme song kind of playing a little bit, but it wasn't as prominent as much. And to me, I was very forgettable. There's nothing that really stood out for me with that. Story-wise, I did appreciate in the beginning when they were saying that, hey, dinosaurs have been out in the world among men for a while, and people are getting annoyed of them. They're becoming, they were wonders for a while, but now they're becoming annoying. Like they're becoming like rodents now. They're just like, they're just everywhere now. And so they're starting to slowly die out. They realize that they can't live in the environment that we have. They're not used to the ecosystem that we're living in now. It was different back then, and now it's very difficult for them to live. So they've been migrating slowly to the equator, where it's more they're more accustomed to that climate. I was more appreciative. Okay, how are we dealing with the whole dinosaurs are living in the world with us kind of deal? Again, I'm not a big fan of that, as Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom so blatantly just threw at us and saying, hey, surprise, now we live with dinosaurs. And so I was not a big fan of that. So I kind of appreciated the fact that we're trying to be like, hey, yeah, the dinosaurs are here, but you know what? They're dying. We're going to put them in the equator. So that's why they're all on the islands now and stuff like that. Okay, I appreciate that. What I didn't like, I'll try to go like balance, good and bad, good and bad. What I didn't appreciate about this part at the very beginning was, before I even get started with that is spoilers. Spoilers ahead. I forgot to mention that. I'm very sorry. The movie's out now on digital. You can own it on digital, or you can digital DVD. I don't know if they're selling it on DVD or Blu-rays, but digital DVD and streaming. You can stream it as well. So if you've not seen this movie, you can check it out there. But I'm giving you guys fair warning. This is a spoiler one. I try to give as much time as I could for many people that have not seen the Jurassic World Rebirth movie. And so I'm trying to, gauge it out there. But I feel like that's enough time now that's out on streaming platforms and you can own it on digital. So spoilers for those who haven't watched it. So I would pause this movie, go watch the movie, and then come back and we can talk Rebirth with you guys. So you've been warned. Here we go. So very beginning of this movie, it shows that there was another island for InGen's payroll. There's another facility where they did more of the experimental kind of gene splicing. Again, we're going back to gene splicing, mutations of dinosaurs. And again, we'll talk more about that in this movie, But yes, this island, this research facility was dedicated mostly for, splicing dinosaurs and seeing what they could create. And not a big fan. We're back again with mutations and gene splicing. I thought this movie was a rebirth back into the roots of just dinosaurs, but no, we're still splicing dinosaurs. We're still creating genetic stuff. And then we're going back to the calling of, you have that employee that's either slacking off or disgruntled. We have this employee that, was eating a snack in this research facility, which, he's working in, which he shouldn't have done that in the first place. But I think it was like a Snickers bar or something, got caught in the vent, caused the door to malfunction, and now everyone was freaking out because the dinosaur got loose. The D-Rex, as they're calling it. Again, I'll give my thoughts on that as well. But yes, this employee caused pretty much the mayhem of everyone, cost the lives of pretty much a lot of these people on this research facility, and now everyone has to run away. Now the facility got abandoned. Again, don't be slacking off at work. Don't be eating. You shouldn't be eating in the first place in your in the research area. I'm pretty sure they have lunchrooms and stuff like that. That's FOD. For those of you that don't know what FOD is foreign object of debris. That is FOD. That's going to cause a lot of things. Come on, man. So you always have that one employee or that disgruntled employee that causes this chain reaction of events to happen, and now we have the movie. You have that. Now you have the explanation of the dinosaur in the equator, and then we have Scarlett Johansson's character, introduction of Scarlett Johansson's character, and the businessman, and how this businessman is trying to hire Scarlett Johansson and her crew to go to the island of dinosaurs to collect blood samples from three different types of dinosaurs that can cure illnesses or cure cancer, cure some disease. I forgot what it was. Again, a lot of this movie is very forgettable. But yeah, you're curing diseases, yeah, and they're trying to get that, and it can help out a lot of people, and she's conflicted about doing it, but she ends up doing it because they're going to pay her a lot of money. Cool. I was okay with that storyline. That storyline was all right. All right, you have these mercenaries, they're on a mission, collect these dinosaur samples, and pretty sure stuff's going to go hayward along the way, but whatever. Stuff like that happens. All right, let's go with it. There is a particular part of like a running gag joke that just gives me the chills. It gives me irks. It just bugs me a lot, and that's with I forgot the character's name, but Jonathan Bailey, the actor, his character plays a scientist that's in love with dinosaurs. The original dinosaurs, and in love with the history of them, and he's a scientist and dedicated to teaching about dinosaurs. They hire him. They're asking, hey, can you please join us so we can help us identify these dinosaurs and so we can get these dinosaurs going. He has a running gag where he's chewing on Altoids, and you just hear him chewing on it, and like it goes on for too long. And I have I don't know if it's a condition you could call it, but it's called misophonia. That's where the sounds of like maybe chewing or swallowing or dripping water or something like that kind of like bugs you a lot and like irritates you. For me, it's like chewing. If I'm hearing like loud chewing for constant periods of time, I'm just like, it kind of bugs me. I'm not going to be like, start yelling, but I'm just going to be like, kind of irks me a little bit. And so when that part was happening, I was just like, oh, come on, just move on with this scene. This is so annoying. This is and just him chewing. Like, it was just, I'm not a big fan. If you've been listening to our podcast, we did an episode on, we'd have another segment called Let's Talk About It, where we talk about certain aspects of life. We talk about different segments. We had a guest, Nick Hainer, who was the stuntman and then a working actor. He played Batman in the State Farm commercials. Shout out to you, Nick Hainer. But we had an episode where we were eating food, we're eating tacos. And when I was editing that episode, oh man, you could just hear me chewing. And I'm like, Vic, just shut up. I was just getting so mad at myself for chewing because you could hear it in the mic. It was picking it up. And then we did another one with Rawr. We were talking about board game lingo. Again, another episode you should go check out. But we were both chewing into our mics, and it was just, oh my goodness. It was bugging me so much. It just gives me irk. It just bugs me just even thinking about it right now. It's just, So I still want to do more of those segments, but I just got to realize, either step away from the mic, go this far or something like that and chew away or something. But anyway, this movie had that, and I was already like check marking like this is bad. I hate it. ASMR stuff, I'm just not a big fan. I'm sorry. If you get into ASMR, I mean, more power to you, but me, I'm not a big fan. I'm sorry. So I had that running joke throughout the movie, and I was just like, please move on from this scene. Let's move on from the scene. But anyway, they recruit the team, and they're off. They're off to the island to go collect the samples. First one is the mosasaur. They got to collect the mosasaur. And so, they're struggling. Again, I've listened to some reviewers. I listened to some movie critics, and they all agree that there's not real peril in this movie. Like, there is a lot of peril, but it's like you're not worried that they're going to die. It's like they're going to keep fighting. They're not going to kill Scarlett Johansson's character. They're not going to kill Marshall Ali's, I think is his character's name. They're not going to kill off his character. They're not going to kill off the family's character. You're just going to keep all these characters alive. You could tell which ones are dying and which ones are staying alive. And so I was like, whenever the main characters are in danger, you're like, okay, they're gonna get out of it. It's fine. You have the action sequences with the Mosasaurus, and then now we come into this other family. Now here's the story with this family. This family is going out on a fishing trip because the dad wants to take the oldest daughter, out on a boat trip one final time before she goes off to college. She brings her boyfriend, and you have the younger sister. This whole storyline, I am sorry guys, but if you enjoy that storyline, I'm sorry, but like that storyline should not been in this movie. That part was just not needed. There was unnecessary. It was literally like two movies that just like meshed together. Like that part should have not been in the movie at all. If it was just a movie about these mercenaries, trying to do this mission and the struggling, trying to like make it back out alive, I would have been okay with it. I think the movie would have been fine. But now you're adding this other family that's just an annoyance, and they had played no significant role other than like just I don't. To be honest, I can't even tell you. I can't even tell you what was the purpose of that family. There's a scene where the dad hurts his leg pretty badly, and he makes a big and there's like a big dialogue about it where he's like, I can't. I need you to carry on and help. My daughters, or your daughters, you got to stay strong and carry. And because I can't run as fast. I hurt my leg. It's hurting. And the next scene, he's like sprinting, full on sprinting. I was like, what happened to the leg? I thought you hurt leg. Well, you're making a big deal about your leg. Now you're fine. What happened? Are you secretly an X-Men that we don't know and has healing powers? Do you have Wolverine's healing factor or Deadpool's healing factor? We don't know. But his leg was magically healed. And I was like, what is going on with that? So a lot of continuity or miscontinuity, or I don't know how you would say the word, but it was just, come on, man. Like, this family should have not been there. And it was just, and then the boyfriend was just so annoying and such obnoxious. And, you think, okay, maybe he might have some character growth. But he doesn't. He still stays the same. And it's just, I don't know. Like, I mean, never have I wanted a character to get eaten by dinosaurs so badly than his boyfriend, because he was such a jerk. I mean, he had some moments of bravery, but other than that, I was like, bro, this guy's a jerk. And the dad, I'm siding with the dad. Whereas I don't like the boyfriend. Yeah, I don't either. But this family stuff was not important. Mercenary stuff, I was more on board with that. I was like, okay, that they have a mission, and the company man, I forgot what his company was, he's tagging along to make sure we get all the samples. And then, he's obviously trying to hoard it for himself and for the company. And, you have that inner dialogue of with Jonathan Bailey's character, who's saying, we shouldn't give these blood samples to him. We should give it to the world, because they're just going to take it, create a cure, and charge an ungodly amount of money for the super rich, and it'll be impossible. But this type of cure belongs to the people. It belongs to everybody. And so there's that whole notion of that. But again, 2 stories in one. And again, I felt like that was just horrible. I didn't enjoy that as much. Talk about the island. Let's talk about some of the dinosaurs. I enjoyed the dinosaurs that they showed. The original dinosaurs, not the mutated stuff dinosaurs. Those were just annoying. I thought, when you saw the T-Rex scene, when you saw the Pteranodons, when you have the Mosasaur and you have the Spinosauruses, they were cool. Although I would say the Spinosauruses on they showed in this movie were not as frightening as the Jurassic Park 3 Spinosaur that they had. The Jurassic Park 3 Spinosaur was very frightening. It was oh snap, this is the next big baddie. This one, they made it look like they were just little fishes swimming around the ocean, helping the Mosasaur hunt down, its prey. I wasn't a big fan. At first, I thought, I didn't know what they were. I was like, what are these, some sort of fish dinosaurs? No, it turned out they were Spinosauruses. And I was like, okay, they don't look like Spinosaurs. They're not the Spinosaurs that I'm used to in Jurassic Park 3. Now, maybe they're more accurate in this one. I haven't looked into it as much, but I was not a big fan of that. And so the T-Rex was pretty cool. Again, not a lot of practicals, all CGI. It was mostly all CGI. In fact, I want to say all of it. Oh, no, there was a practical. It was a little dinosaur that the youngest sister finds and calls it Dorothy, I think, or I forgot what the name of the again, a lot of forgettable moments of it. But if you remember the name of the dinosaur, leave it in the comments below. And again, all this to say that these are my opinions. This isn't the world. I'm not to say the leading factor of this. A lot of people agree with me on this stuff that I've seen from videos. I'm just kind of repeating what they're saying, giving my opinions. We just happen to fall in line with the same opinions. But if you enjoy this movie, more power to you. This movie was entertaining. I will say it was entertaining. I enjoyed that aspect of it as a movie. Is this a Jurassic Park movie? No, it should have just been some creature movie, and I would have enjoyed it as well. I shouldn't have had the Jurassic Park logo slapped on there. Should have been some, mutated dino island or something like that. I don't know what it should have been called, but it shouldn't have been a Jurassic Park movie. And so, which reminds me, which I'm looking forward to, Primitive Ore. Not a shout out to that movie. That looks pretty cool. No idea what it's about. Apparently based on a book. Not sponsored by them, but just wanted to give that shout out. I'm going to check that movie. Maybe I might do a review on that one. Who knows? But back to Rebirth. Yeah, I feel like again, if you enjoy this movie, great. If not, I'm with you there. I see the entertainment value of it, but as a big Jurassic Park fan, definitely was a miss on this one for sure. Again, the family, not needed. Mercenaries was okay. Scarlett Johansson's character felt like she was just like, we just got a mission. We got to do the mission. Okay, I understand you have a mission, but people are dying around you and you just don't really care. You're just like, let's just go. Mahershala Ali, his character was at least trying to carry this movie. He was trying to be like, yo, we care about these people. And, when some of his crew members die. He's feeling it. He's like, yo, these are my I've been running with this crew for such a long time, and now they're dying. He's at least feeling it. Scarlett Johansson's like, let's just keep going. Let's just keep going. You're like, okay, bro, please, come on. And so they're on the island. They're trying to struggle. Again, CGI dinosaurs everywhere. Now, there is a scene that I thought I was looking forward to that they showed on the trailer, and there was a lot of ads for it, and that was the raft scene. The family that we don't like is trying to get down the river, and they need a raft. Trying to get a raft, but there's a T-Rex there, and it's sleeping and trying to stink by the T-Rex, and they're trying to escape the T-Rex from the raft. I think there was like another T-Rex there that was there too, so they're trying to dodge the T-Rex on this raft, but they're at the mercy of the raft, and they can't control the raft. They're at the mercy of the river, sorry, and they can't control the raft, and so the T-Rexes, they're trying to dodge away from the T-Rex biting them. Was in the book. I enjoyed the book. The book was great. It was amazing. I probably should do an episode on the book, but I feel like I need to reread the book because last time I read it, I was in college, and I was hooked on that book. So if there are any fans of the book, leave it in the comments below. Let me know what you thought about the book. The book was amazing. It was one of those instances where I read the book and I was like, whoa, this book is way better than the movie of the first Jurassic Park. And I was a big factor of like Jurassic Park, ultimate movie, great movie. If I read the book, I don't care. I'm just going to side with the movie. The movie's better than the book. I read the book. I was like, nope, the book is way better. I love the book so much. But they had that scene, the raft scene. In the book, it was Dr. Alan Grant and the kids. They're trying to dodge dinosaurs, sleepy dinosaurs from the raft and trying to like be as quiet as possible and not wake up the dinosaurs. This one, in the movie, it's a family trying to dodge the dinosaurs. Now, there is a couple of scenes. One, T-Rex is sleeping. Okay, cool. The daughter is trying to get the raft, and they see the T-Rex sleeping, and it's like moving, and they're telling, oh, no, stop. Come back. And she's like, no, I'm just going to keep going with the raft. Okay, first of all, the T-Rex, like, you got come back. Like, figure out another way. The raft, like, explodes and opens up, and then the raft falls down, and the T-Rex is gone. I fail not to believe that T-Rex can move that quickly. Like, you would have seen it moved for sure. And then she's like, oh, snap. Instead of being like, where's the dinosaur, like looking around, she just keeps going with the raft. And I was like, dude, come on. Mind your surroundings. You're in an island full of dinosaurs. Mind surroundings. Anyway, all this action's happening. The raft, the family falls into the ocean, the river, gets flipped over into the river, and they're like falling down, and the little girl's still hanging on into the raft. Now, there's a part where the T-Rex is like trying to bring down its teeth onto the raft and can't break it for some reason, and you see the mouth like coming down, and the little girl's like struggling. They were literally reenacting the same scene from the first one with the kids in the car, where the T-Rex breaks the window and the kids are holding up the window for the T-Rex. Same thing, but now it's in a raft, and the little girl's like freaking out. That raft should have ripped like way hard, like with those teeth. Whatever. Which brings me up to this other point is this movie reenacted a lot of stuff from Jurassic Park 1. Okay, well, not a lot of stuff, but they reenacted a lot of scenes. That whole T-Rex thing was, trying to reach down for something, and they're trying to like escape, kind of like the car scene with the window. Same thing with the raft. There's another scene where they're at a gas station, and you have these weird, like, I don't even know what kind of dinosaurs these were. These were like some bird. I don't need. They look like bird dinosaur kind of things. They had like, dude, I honestly can't. They look like pterodons, like they're like raptor pterodons. I don't know what they were. It was so annoying because I was trying to figure out what kind of dinosaur they were, but what kind of mutated. But like, what were the species they mutated? But I couldn't figure it out, and I was getting annoyed. But anyway, there's a scene where they're trying to like hide away from the dinosaurs, but it was just the same scene from the kitchen scene from the first one, where the kids are running away from the raptors and trying to sneak by the raptors. The tension was great in that movie. In this one, I was like, okay, you're copying the same thing. Even to the part where, like, the kids are like, the camera pans down underneath the aisle, and then you see the in the first one, you see the two kids run by, like crawl by, and then you see the raptor like come down, and you see it like tapping on the floor with its claw. Same thing with this one. You see it down on the aisle, and you see the family walk by, and you see the raptor like, or the creature or whatever it's called, like coming down on the wall on the floor like that. And I was just like, okay, this is just literally you're copying the same thing. And then you have the flare thing with using the flares, kind of like how they did with the T-Rex at the final conclusion. They did it again with the D-Rex, and you have Mahershala Ali using the flare to guide away the T-Rex or the D-Rex. Yeah, again, Jurassic Park. You guys are just copying. They're just like trying to copy Jurassic Park and just make it more modern. But you already did that with Jurassic World. Why you gotta do it again? And so now let's talk about the ending here. Let's talk about the D-Rex. D-Rex looked like it was the Rancor from Star Wars. And if you don't know what the Rancor Rancor. I think it's what you say, the Rancor. It's that big creature that, like in Return of the Jedi, when Luke falls down into the pit in Jabba the Hutt's palace, and that big creature's gonna like kill him, and Luke, kills the beast with sticking a bone in his mouth. That's the Rancor. That's the big creature thing. Imagine that, but not like it has like arms and like on its chest, like small arms. So this thing had like, it walked on 4 legs and it had like smaller arms. I'm like, this is a mixture between the Rancor and like the Xenomorph from Alien. Like, what? Why? What is that? What is that? It looked dumb. It was, I mean, I don't even want to talk about this creature thing. It just looked so dumb. There was no raptors in the movie. They showed him in the background when the boyfriend was like, when the boyfriend was going to the bathroom, and you saw raptors in the background, but then they got eaten by these other creatures, which were those other monster things that you see in the gas station. That was, my goodness. Yeah, you don't see any raptors in it. All right, whatever. I love raptors, but why not show them? T-Rex, you only barely saw them. You saw some Bronchiosauruses or some gigantic versions of them. The movie made it seem, did a good job of portraying how big these dinosaurs were, which is cool. But I'm like, there's like to a limit where like they're like stupid big, where you're like, okay, they're not that big. It looks like they're like almost Godzilla. Like, who knows? Maybe they were like that. But I felt like that. Okay, you're making the proportions way too big, especially with the D-Rex. I was like, you're making it way too big. It was just too much. But there was a part in the movie, again, spoilers, towards the end, where Mahershala Ali's character was like, I'm going to sacrifice myself to save you guys so you can guys escape. And he does, and he goes. And there's this whole backstory with him where like he lost his kid, and him and his girl like kind of split up because of it, or I think they're together. I forgot what it was, but he lost his kid, and he's like with the guilt of that, and so he's like, this is his redemption. Like, I'm gonna save the kids, I'm gonna save the family. Okay, cool. And he goes off, and he goes with the flare, and he guides the D-Rex over to the other side, and they go escape, and Scarlett Johansson now decides to care, and she's like, no, do it, whatever. I thought, I was like, okay, that's bold. You're killing off a big character. That's great, because he sacrificed himself. What a great redemption arc. But then they brought him back, because it was like, oh, snap, he actually survived. Hey, look, he survived, and they got him, and I was just like, why? Why do you have to like make, like, I had the moment of hope. I was like, okay, kudos to this movie if they killed him off, because I was like, you guys made a bold action. All these rest of the Jurassic World movies, they were just saving off the main characters were superheroes. This one, you're willing to kill off a main character to have a good redemption arc where like he saved the family, saved the sister and the older sister and all the kids because he couldn't save his own children. So this was his redemption arc. Okay, awesome. He sacrificed himself. He will be remembered, and all that. No, he's still, as they're going away, they're about to leave, you see his flare again. You're like, hey, I'm alive. I somehow escaped this D-Rex that was so menacing. I swam away, or I don't know what he did. But how did he escape? Because this thing was huge. Whatever. He escaped. And then the movie ends. They escaped. They're riding the boat away and roll credits. And I got up from the theater and I was like, let's leave. I'm done. This movie was, again, I had my gripes on this movie again. I'm sorry, guys. But like, again, there's some positives. Again, the original, the non-mutated dinosaurs look really cool. They were awesome. They look menacing. The mercenary storyline, I thought it was pretty cool. It was interesting. I was getting on board with it until you start throwing in the family, and then I was just like, okay, stop, go away, family. So there were some moments of like that. Some moments of awe capturing the island. I thought it was pretty cool, but again, a lot of negatives that kind of bring this movie down. When I was in the theater, I mean, there's a point in the scene where I was like, I need to go to the bathroom, and I really don't care if I miss anything from this movie. I'm going to the bathroom. I can have Lydia just fill me in on what happened, and I missed the part. It was like the Pteranodon scene, so I can't really tell you about that Pteranodon scene because I just left because I was like, I just go to use the bathroom. I really don't care what happens here. I'm pretty sure someone's gonna die, and lo and behold, someone did die. One of the remaining side characters that no one cared, and they got the DNA and whatever. And Jonathan Bailey falls, and he still survives apparently. Guess because of the big plants cushion his falls, I guess. Which I don't know if that could happen because he fell from high, and the trees caught him and he survived. But anyway, those are my thoughts on Jurassic World Rebirth. Let me know in the comments below. Did you enjoy the movie? Was it a good movie? Was it a mediocre movie? Did you not enjoy the movie? I'm very curious to hear your guys' thoughts on that. We will continue on moving forward with more of the miniseries. We still got Lost World and Jurassic Park to go, and we have the TV series. I'm not forgetting about those. I'm watching them. It's just 5 seasons of Camp Cretaceous I got to get through, and then there's Chaos Theory. I have to watch. So those ones are coming soon. I'll try as much as I can. We might pause after Rebirth and do some different segments of the podcast. So stay tuned for those episodes there. Thank you guys so much for watching. If this is your first time watching, again, as I said in the beginning, hopefully this rant wasn't too negative for you that you just turned it off midway. If you stuck through it through the end right here, I just want to say thank you so much for watching. We have more content on coming for you guys, but we also have content that we've released as well. We just posted a vlog of our first ever boardcella that we had with some of our friends. That's where we spent 3 days just playing board games nonstop. And man, I'm still exhausted. I'm still like recovering from that. That was like a week ago. And so if you guys are interested, we have that up. We have other episodes that you guys check out. You can check out our other the series, the movies that we talked about the previous episode that we did on our mini series. We talked about the video games, Jurassic Park video games and Jurassic World video games. So if you're interested on that, you can check out that out. We also, again, we covered Jurassic Park 3, Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom, Dominion, and now we're talking about Rebirth. And so we have Lost World and Jurassic Park left, and we have the TV shows. Sorry, guys, if you guys were expecting a board game one. Again, I feel like it wouldn't be a good service to you guys if I'm just trying to like fake it and try to tell you that, yeah, these board games are great, but when I've never really played them. And so I want to play these board games. If you guys have played the Jurassic Park board game, leave in the comment below. I'm very curious. I'd love to try these games out, and then maybe we could talk about them. And so send me your recommendations on some good dinosaur games. I already have Dinosaur World and Dinosaur Island, and it's totally liquid expansion. But if there's any other games that you guys recommend that are from that are Jurassic themed, dinosaur themed, I'd love to check them out. I know there's like Unmatched, the Jurassic Park one. There's also Soria that I've been wanting to check out as well. So if there's any other ones that you want to recommend, please leave it in a comment below. Let me know again, guys, what you thought about Jurassic World Rebirth. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Again, you can follow us on all socials. We're on X, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts. Wherever you like, leave a rating, a 5-star rating, like and subscribe. Help us to grow our channel so we can give you guys more content for you guys as well. We're at almost 150 subscribers. So everyone, thank you so much for subscribing on our YouTube. And we've reached 1,300 followers on Instagram. So guys, I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I love chatting with the community, board game community, the video game community, pop culture community. I love engaging with you guys and talking with you guys, negative and positive. But I just love talking with you guys and just, sharing these memories with you guys. You guys are my nerd familia. So let's grow it. Let's share this with friends and family that you think might enjoy this content. And let's grow our nerd familia. So with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Y nos vemos para la próxima.